Hi, I'm Bukira Ramla, Senior 3B at PMM Girls School. I took interest in the issues of Ugandan children after realizing they were challenged by many hurdles in life, problems that they are often too tender to handle. I made up my mind to piece up bits of news, information, comments, and images that highlight children's issues in a leading daily in my country, The New Vision. I'm joined in my narration by my friends Nandiose Shamim and Awaro Eunice.
Left-handed people were historically considered as evil. That's why even today some teachers and parents insist that a child must use the right hand. However, Nigonasa, the writer of this article, states that all this has to end because left-handedness is neither a disease nor a disability. He cites Bernard Wogere, an advocate for the rights of left-handed children, as saying that forcing children to change from using the left hand is a violation of their right. As a child, Bernard has been forced to change from the left hand to the right.
The parents and guardians of children with disabilities were told by the government to take their disabled children to school. The Ministry of Education and Sports put up with this law to protect children with disabilities. The aim was to ensure that disabled children enjoy their services like the able-bodied ones.
The resident district commissioner of Amuru, Edwin Komakech, directed the police to round up 7 pupils of Larel Primary School in Alero sub-county who recently got married. Arrest their husbands, parents too, take the children back to school even if they are pregnant. The girls were aged 14 to 16 years. One of the girls actually eloped with the son of her school's management committee.
In this column, Awel Hanganye was trying to bring out his concern about Ugandan children who had been innocently tools to gain money. He said that changing societal, economic, and social facets indicate that abuse and exploitation of children for personal gain has taken many forms, like child sacrifice for wealth. He says that children had become victims to keep marriages from breaking up.
In this issue, kids identified as Milina Mirembe, 10 years, Andrew Mesizi, 13 years, and Sylvia Anatolo, 12 years, all of Kajanya, a Kampala suburb, were reported missing. In the past, the police had reported a number of missing children, some of them ending up as victims of ritual murders.
A case in point is this. However, in this particular case, a child was lucky enough to have survived. Police arrested a witch doctor in Sanji of Wakiso district for illegally abducting a 12-year-old boy for ritual sacrifice. The boy was attacked by 2 unidentified suspects while walking from St. Joseph Primary School, Nabingo. The boy was dragged into a car, taken to the shrine of the witch doctor, who rejected him, claiming that he had very many scars on his body.
Here, a mother narrates a story of how her daughter narrowly survived being kidnapped by a reputable shuttle business in town. A man pretending to be a regular person to pick up her daughter from home had his luck against him, because he found when the girl had already been picked up by the genuine shuttle. The girl's mother chose to tell her story to alert the nation about the safety of their children.
This is a report of 3 men who were held over murder of a 13-year-old Caroline Achenda of Matakule Primary School in Butembo sub-county. She was found one early Sunday morning lying in a pool of blood with her private part, tongue, and the head missing. The police investigation showed that she was defiled before being killed. The suspected motive for the gruesome murder was ritual purpose.
Some of the cases of child abuse involve culprits who are in a position of trust. For instance, in this case, a 40-year-old man was charged with defiling his 14-year-old daughter with a full knowledge that she was HIV positive. Laubent Mwebaze, a businessman, first defiled his daughter in a plantation on their way from his shop, then again at home when his wife was attending a funeral and the victim's siblings were asleep. Tumwebaze threatened to kill the girl if she reported him.
The High Court in Dira sentenced a 40-year-old man to 27 years in jail for aggravated defilement. Moses of Pio defiled his 9-year-old daughter on 17th March 2008. Medical examinations confirmed that the girl's genitals were ruptured.
This picture shows staff members of New Vision handing over 1 million shillings donated to help in the treatment of a girl who lost her buttock to a quack doctor. For 2 months, Immaculate Nanyonjo has been forced to sleep on her belly and cannot sit up since most of her left buttock was cut off, leaving her with a gaping wound that had turned septic. After she was taken to 3 private clinics where she got a number of injections. She then developed boils, which soon developed pus. Her family ran out of money after spending over 200,000 shillings on her treatment. Nabutona, the mother of the child, said that her husband vowed not to spend any coin on wounds that never heal.
The Mbarara High Court last week sentenced the head teacher of Kuzinga Primary School to 7 years to jail for defilement. The court heard that Emmanuel Tumsime defiled a 12-year-old girl in his office on March 28, 2007. The prosecution said that the victim's mother reported the matter after she had found the girl's private parts bleeding. Tumsime denied the charges. Sometimes I wonder. In a previous case, a father commits the same crime and he is sentenced to 27 years. And here, a head teacher is sentenced to 7 years. Is this really a fair administration of justice? Here, a single father is looking for a woman to love his 3 children. What challenges do you think are the children likely to face?
For me, I think that the children are already challenged, since most fathers don't have enough time for children, and other fathers don't know how to handle young children, so they need the support of the mother.
And in my opinion, since the father's well-being is not proper, the children are really faced with a big challenge, since we all know that the parents' well-being contributes a lot to the children's well-being.
To my conscience, children actually don't get the mother's love, because actually mothers always render much of their time for their children than the fathers, and the fathers sometimes tend to be harsh to the kids.
In connection to that, children will face a challenge of poor standards of living, since most fathers don't care.
In the previous case, a father is faced with the challenge of looking for a woman to be a mother to his 3 children from 2 different mothers, while here it is even worse, because a woman solves her problem by killing a day-old baby. Rachel Kahunde, 19 years, gave birth, strangled and dumped the baby into a pit latrine for unknown reasons. Probably, she might have done this because of poverty, lack of support, or she didn't know what to do with the baby. But whatever the case is, this story shows that a mother's well-being is important to the baby.
These disturbing images tell a story of a child subjected to torture and exploitation by a woman who has been using him to solicit for money on streets of Kampala, and that the child doesn't even belong to her. It has become a normal routine to see many children begging on streets of Kampala, with many of them being victims like the child in question. All attempts by the city authorities to remove children are rounded up from streets, but they somehow reappear.
More children, especially from Karamoja, were turning to streets in Kampala and other resorted areas despite numerous efforts to resettle them. The Ministry of Social Development estimates that there are over 500 street children in Kampala, but independent observers put the figure to about 2,000 in Kampala alone. The minister attributed the problem for commercialization for begging. So the government was asking public to stop giving money to street children because it exacerbates the problem.
This is a scene where a 1.5-year-old child meets his death after being kidnapped from their home Bugolobi in Kampala City with the aid of his unsuspecting nanny.
The picture shows 2 kidnappers and murderers of the young handsome Kam Kakama, Godwin Tumsime and his brother. Having kidnapped Cam, the two brothers demanded from the grief-stricken parents a ransom of 30 million before they can release the boy. The money was paid, but too late. The child was already dead. When quizzed as to why he killed the boy, God gave a baffling answer. The child was making a lot of noise.
Within days, the killers had bought chunks of land, 3 motorbikes out of the blood money. This cartoon that appeared in the New Vision perhaps best reflects the bitter irony of the killer's fortune and the blood of baby Kakama.
The kidnap and murder of baby Kakama shocked and touched the hearts of many in Uganda. It was a shock for weeks in all forms of media and brought afresh the issue of many children mysteriously disappearing, with many of them never to be seen or found dead. His death, and of many other children under similar circumstances, makes us question the hearts of men and women in our country.
You may want to know that the cases I have picked for this media were from just about 6 newspapers of 2 months of the New Vision. This only shows the magnitude of child abuse in Uganda. And yet what the New Vision has been able to record must be the tip of the iceberg.